Welcome to Worship Tutorials. In this video, we're going to talk about the Emerald Virtuo. I like to think of this as a guitar from the future that I've brought back to share with you, the people of the present. One guitar that can almost literally do everything. Let's check it out. So let's talk about everything this guitar does, what all these controls are, kind of how it's made, where it's made. First of all, Emerald is a company. They're in Ireland. So these things are made in Ireland. It's almost completely made out of carbon fiber. You can see that the back is carbon fiber, the neck is carbon fiber. The fretboard is carbon fiber, headstock. The tuners, of course, are not. The bridge is made out of carbon fiber. It's completely hollow. So it's very, very lightweight, very comfortable to hold and play. Oh, let's just talk about its acoustic properties, first of all, because it is a hollow guitar. Emerald is sort of known for making carbon fiber acoustic guitars. So the Virtuo is sort of their hybrid type of a guitar that does acoustic and electric sounds. So let me just play this for you so you can hear what it sounds like. So you can see that it's loud like a thin line acoustic. I mean, it doesn't sound like a big, dreadnought acoustic, but it has a nice ring to it, a nice tone to it, which I love for an electric guitar, especially something like this that feels like an electric guitar, does not feel like you're playing an acoustic. It's like a slightly thicker electric. In that regard, it's great just to kind of, if you're practicing and you don't want to plug into something and you just want to hear the guitar and get a little response from it. I really like that. Like if you're down on the couch or wherever, you just want to play something that has a little bit of sound to it, but isn't like big or loud like an acoustic guitar. It's great. These are Fishman Fluence humbuckers. They have 3 different voices that you can access via the push pulls here. We'll talk about that in a bit. There's a Graphtech Ghost Piezo system built into this guitar. So you've got humbucker, we'll call these magnetic pickup outputs. You've got the piezo pickup output. Both of those are output the 1/4-inch jack. Now, the jack has sort of a trick hidden up its sleeve. You can use a stereo or TRS to dual mono cable to split the piezo and magnetic pickup outputs. You also have options on the controls here to blend and turn them on and off as well. And then we've got a MIDI output here. So this will interface with like one of the Boss Roland big MIDI synth pedals. So you can get all kinds of amazing like textures out of this thing with that. So it's, you've got basically three different pickup systems built into this guitar. So let's talk about how you control them. So you have 4 knobs here and 2 3-way toggles built into the guitar. This small mini toggle switch controls the magnetic and piezo pickups. So in the forward position, it's magnetic pickups only. In the backwards position, it's piezo only, which is easy to remember. So if it's pointing toward, forward, toward where the magnetics are, it's magnetic. Back is piezo. In the middle, both pickups are outputting, and then you can control the blend. So these three controls right here control the volume or output of the three different pickup systems in the guitar. This one that's closest to you, the player, controls the magnetic output. This one controls the piezo pickup output. When you're in the middle position in the mini toggle, so both pickup systems are on, you can then blend them together. So you can turn the magnetic pickups all the way up and the piezo pickups, halfway up and get a blend. We'll show you how all these different configurations sound here in just a bit. When you're in piezo only, this is your overall volume. When you're in magnetic only, of course, this is your overall output level. This knob right here controls the output of the synth. So if you have it connected to a synth or MIDI pedal, it's your output level, so you can blend there. This one is tone for the magnetic pickups. The piezo pickup is not wired to this tone pot. Okay, you have push-pulls on these pots as well, and that will control what these Fishman Fluence pickups are doing. So the first one is the magnetic volume pot, this one right here. If you pull it, you will switch humbucker modes. So the Fluence humbuckers have a vintage mode when it's down and a modern mode when it's up. The modern mode is just a little hotter output, a slightly different voice. We'll show you all this in just a bit. This one will switch them into single coil mode. And it's pretty impressive, the humbucker to single coil mode, because you really don't lose volume. And it doesn't get like overly bright either. It really just makes the guitar sound like you're playing a single coil guitar that's voiced for, the voicing of the two different options is really balanced and sounds really good. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate sort of all these different options for you so you can hear it. We're going to start in the magnetic pickup mode, then we'll go in the middle and I'll show you a little bit of a blend, and then the piezo running through an amp. By the way, for these playing samples today, I figured we'd go with the budget option and run through the vintage 1964 Vox AC30 Top Boost. It's probably the best sounding amp I've ever heard, and it sounds great with this guitar. So you can see you get a lot of different tones. That piezo pickup going into the Vox. It's kind of neat, especially when you can blend it with the magnetics. Sorry, you're hearing some hiss of that amp in the background, but when you can blend it with the magnetic pickups, you really get like this punch that you can't really get out of a lot of magnetic pickups. It's pretty interesting. All right, so a bit more about the construction of the guitar. I said like this was all carbon fiber, and you're like, well, that's not a carbon fiber top. So one thing that Emerald does that's really cool is they will sort of infuse a wood veneer. So it's real wood. It's a very thin piece of real wood sort of infused onto the carbon fiber top. And we did a video earlier where I talked about, I was speccing this guitar out. You can go to their website, which is linked below, and you can pick the actual piece of wood that's gonna go on your guitar if you order one of these. So I chose this nice flamey piece of koa. I think it looks pretty good. I will say this, it looks better in person by far than it did in their online rendering, but it's a really interesting tool. I found it like very intuitive to use, and it was neat to be able to like visualize all these different options for guitars. You can get different colors, different wood types. You can go with carbon if you want on the top, if you want that look. So this is again, a thin veneer of real actual flamed koa on the top of the guitar. Stainless steel frets. One thing about the feel of it, so when I first played this guitar, I thought this neck is really interesting and really comfortable. It was kind of an odd experience. So it's a very wide neck, and it's not very wide, but I'd say wider than like a standard, Fender Strat or something like that. So it's wider and it's a little thinner, but it's got like an asymmetrical shape that really fits like your hand. So it kind of like, the neck shape is kind of like this. And when you put your hand in there, it's just really comfortable. And it's not too thick, so it feels out your hand really nicely, but it sort of like just sits right in this little pocket right here as you play. And I've found it very comfortable to play. And the way that it's built, the fret axis is, you can get way up there. And it's just a really nice playing, comfortable guitar. I've traveled with it. So I went to visit my mom and dad in Oklahoma this past summer. And so one thing I traveled with, it's a carbon fiber guitar, right? So I just checked it and I didn't even think about it. And I pulled it out of the bag, and I'm in Oklahoma in the middle of summer. It's hot. So pulled it out and the thing was in tune. In fact, today it's been in the other room, and there's been like temperature changes for a while. And we pulled it out and it was just like, yep, still in tune. So it's pretty amazing how stable a carbon fiber guitar is. It's a very interesting material to build guitars from, as far as like it doesn't change with temperature, humidity, all the things that can make guitars go haywire. Nothing doesn't even phase this thing. It's like a tank. So it feels really good, plays really good, sounds great. One of the things about this guitar is it's like you can tell like these are not inexpensive guitars. You're gonna pay a little bit for a guitar like this, but it is just the precision with which it's made is pretty impressive. So I play a G down here, play it here, play it here. Like it's all in tune all the way up and down the neck. That's impressive. Like these notes up here, they just ring, and that's not something you see on a lot of guitars, especially acoustic type instruments. So I would say that the level of craftsmanship and attention to detail going into this guitar is top of the line. Some of the best I've ever seen. While it looks like an electric guitar with magnetic pickups, it's also like a thin line acoustic guitar. So we're gonna run it in piezo mode. We're gonna plug it in and let you hear what this sounds like as sort of an acoustic guitar. Because I know a lot of people, especially if you're performing or if you're leading at a church or something like that, it's nice to have a guitar that will give you acoustic sounds and electric guitar sounds in one. The guitars that can do both of those things well are very rare. And this is a guitar that can handle that for you. So if you're familiar with the Ghost Piezo system, that's the sound that you're getting out of this guitar. This is what it sounds like. few final thoughts. One thing that I found when we started playing this guitar and testing it out is, and I don't know whether it's the Fishman Fluence pickups, whether it's the construction of the guitar itself, the materials it's made of, it's pretty bright. So we're running into that Vox AC30. We're actually running into the normal channel, which is a much darker than like the top or the Brilliant channel with the top boost circuit in it. And it really fits this guitar really well. So if you get a guitar if you get one of these, just know that it might be brighter than some other guitars that you have, but it's really a simple thing to fix. So whatever it is you're running into, an amp, a Line 6 Helix, Fractal, Kemper, anything, you might want to darken your amp just a little bit. The amp in this room is really loud, so you might have heard a little bit of feedback, and it is a fully hollow guitar. So you're gonna get a little bit of that, which I think is pretty cool, but like with big gain pedals, like you kick on the Riot or the Governor, and it's just, especially in the hot rodded humbucker mode, this thing, it can sound very pretty, very pristine in single coil mode, with lots of reverb and delay. Then you just flip it to the bridge with the modern humbucker and just rip out some power chords. And it's super versatile in that respect. So a lot of sounds built into this thing, especially when you start diving into the MIDI synth. I mean, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff as far as sound design with this guitar as well. And it can allow you to be like a keyboard player, but with a guitar. It's pretty awesome. So thank you to Emerald for letting us check this thing out. Really appreciate it. We've really enjoyed this thing. If you're looking for one single guitar that can do all these types of sounds, the Virtuo just might be for you. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.